also have the MAC Prolongwear Concealer. This is actually my favorite one to use just because I feel like it lasts the longest, and I really like that it is a color of concealer, and so it does help to hide any veins that I may have. And so I just put a teensy bit on my finger and go from the inner corner to outer corner and sweep it up even under my eyebrow, and I just do that whole area. And so I still have some of my fingers, so I'll do the other side. And I hope the lighting's okay. I know it's not the absolute greatest, but where my bedroom is on the far side of the house, I don't get that much lighting in here. Okay, and so now I've got that on, and so I'm going to start with my first shade, which I'm going to use in the crease. And I'm using my Sigma makeup brushes for this, and I've never done a video with these yet. This is the E40, the tapered blending brush, and I'm going to be taking the color right here. This is Wedge by MAC. And I'm just going to dip it a little bit in there. And these brushes are amazing. Like, I seriously can tap it just a teensy bit, and it gives me such great color. And so what I'm going to do now that I have some on my brush is sweep it into the crease. And I can do this with my eyes open just because I feel like it gives me a good idea of where my crease is. If I close my eye, I can still, figure out where my crease is, but when I open my eye, it definitely shows me where that crease is, and then I can make sure that I'm getting the color where I need to. And I just sweep it back and forth. Jaclyn Hill always says, like, windshield wiper motions, like wah, 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 wah. So that's what I do, and I will go in like a circular motion also. And I'm keeping this color towards the outer side, and up is where I'm mostly sweeping it. You can see as I'm turning my brush like in small circular motions and sweeping back and forth. I'm just going and going and going until this color is so seamless and just so natural. And like I said, this is basically what I do every single day unless I'm doing something different. The eye look I'm showing you is what I do. And so now that I've got Wedge in there, I'm going to take this color right here, which is soft brown. And I built this palette based on Jaclyn Hill's recommendations on which colors she thought were the most wearable for every day. And she did this video probably over a year ago. Yeah, it was over a year ago because I bought these in March of 2013. And look how long they've lasted. Down here, all that glitters is, of course, showing pan, but that's because I use that probably the most out of all the colors, and I use the most of it. So tap a little bit of soft brown on my brush, and this also will go into the crease. But I'm keeping this one more towards the outer corner and along the bottom of my eyelid. I'm just buffing and blending, and you'll notice I did not switch brushes, and that's because I don't really mind if the eyeshadow on the brush gets mixed in together because I'm putting them in the same area anyways. And sorry, I'm a little far away from my mirror. So that's why I'm looking over here, because my mirror is right next to my camera. Don't mind the dog barking either. And I do really simple makeup on a daily basis. I don't really do anything extra fancy or really go overboard at all. I keep it simple, and this look only requires 2 brushes. And so then this is the E55. This is the eye shading brush from Sigma, and it's got a denser top to it. It's a lot more dense and a lot more short. as you can see the difference in those two brushes. And so for the eye shading, this is perfect for an all over the lid color, and that is when I'm going to take All That Glitters, and this is by MAC also. And so I'm just going to dip it into that color. And when I do it on both sides. So I go like this, and then I switch like sides of the brush and do it on the other side as well. And then I feel like I can use one side for one eye, the other side for the other. It's usually what I do. And so then I'll start in the middle and pack it towards the inner corner. And then I pat towards the outside. And I'm really hoping that I'm in focus. That would be horrible. So then I switched my brush over, and now I'm doing the other eye. And then if it's not like shiny enough for you, you can always spray this with like Fix Plus or something. I don't own that. I've just seen other bloggers do that, and I would really like to make it more of like a metallic sheen. I just haven't purchased that yet, and so I just dipped my brush in it a little bit more, and I will just continue to add until I get the desired color that I want for this. And you'll notice I'm going clear up to the crease and just blending this color out. All right. And if you want to, again, you can take your original brush, the E40 tapered blending, and with no additional product on it, just sweep along the top outer corner just to help blend out that shimmer. Oh, and Wedge here and Soft Brown here, they are both mattes, and All That Glitters obviously has some shimmer to it. This color up here, Texture, I did not use in this particular eye look, but when I do want to use that, sometimes I'll use like a smaller brush than this or an angled brush, and I'll go really close to the outer corner and just kind of line my eye and then blend it out. And then I'll also take that same angled brush and sweep it along my bottom, what is this? Along my bottom lash line, and that helps to just bring more like dimension. And I feel like when I'm not doing a very daytime look for my level of makeup and what I personally like, I like to do that for evening or when I'm dressing up a little bit more, just because it does bring more attention and drama to the eyes. So what you're seeing is pretty much it that I do for my eye look on a regular basis. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup. So here's Berlin behind me. I thought I would quickly show you just little bits of how I do my makeup. So I just poured I did one pump of my foundation on my hand, and I'm just taking a fingerprint of it. And this foundation, since I've switched to a Sigma brush, I have had a harder time figuring out how to apply my foundation, just because with this brush, when I squirt the foundation right on the top of it, I lose so much product inside the brush that I don't like doing that. I don't want to waste. So one pump, I do a couple of dots around my face, and then with the Sigma, this is the flat top kabuki, this is the F80, this is probably the #1 brush that they sell. I have the dots on my face, and I'm going to just like stipple around. So it reminds me of like one of those big paintbrushes when you used to do like stamping. It's like 90s or 80s-ish, I don't know. I used to do that. But I just stipple it into my skin. So just small pats, and I'm not pressing very hard, but I am making sure that it does get into my skin. And then as I get to the sides of my cheeks, near the side of my face, I will brush it out, like buff it. And along my chin. And sometimes if I feel like you know, the dots weren't enough coverage, I will do another half a pump on my hand and do it where I need. Where I usually like to stick more foundation would be near my cheek area here or along my forehead, just because I feel like I don't get that much up there when I first start. And then because I did my eyeshadow first, I normally don't do that unless I'm doing a really dark smoky eye where I could have fallout onto my cheeks, and I don't want to run my foundation that way. But because I did that first and I had some leftover concealer on my hand, I went ahead and did the concealer first. Normally I do the concealer after. I personally like the look of the concealer afterwards, but I'm not going to apply any more today just for the purpose of showing you guys, because it really doesn't matter too much. I do have a little breakout up here, and so I'm going to add just a teeny tiny bit. I literally did just like the tiniest little drop of my foundation, and this is the Makeup Forever HD, and so I have that little dot. I'm gonna scoop it up with my finger and go ahead and press it up here. Sorry about those planes, we get jets and stuff all the time. And I really like to get in between here, because I feel like that's a lot of time where women miss and we don't connect the color is in between our eyes. Because while we try to match our foundation to our skin, sometimes it's not perfect. Okay, and so now that I think I've got